Hi guys, welcome back to another chapter day series. I hope you guys are doing fine and staying alright. So I'm trying to get back on the schedule for chapter day and organize my schedule and still be able to do my quiet time because I've been off track for like the past 2 days. But yeah, welcome to today's chapter. So sorry if my voice is just too low. I don't know. My voice sounds very low. I don't know, but that's how my voice sounds. So let's just get into the video. So today we're reading Joshua chapter 11, and previously we read Joshua chapter 10, which talked about how Joshua and the Israelites made a covenant without God's direction, and then without God's direction and will, but then God vindicated them and showed him that he's God and not man. The next day, after the Israelites and Joshua prayed to God and asked for his mercies and asked for his guidance and his will, God allowed the Israelites to capture 5 kings, and that day the sun never came down because, God wanted to show the Israelites that he is God and not man. So I found that really amazing. Today's chapter, we're reading Joshua chapter 11, like I said earlier, and I'm currently looking at my Bible to see how many verses it is. It's 23 verses, which is short. So this chapter talks about the killing of the king of Hazor, whose name was Jabin, and the sharing of land the Israelites won from the war. So the Israelites are getting closer and closer to actually entering the promised land, like the land of Canaan. They have entered the land of Canaan per se, but there are all these cities that are in charge, that kings are having control over, that they have to capture because the promised land is the land of the Israelites. So yeah, the king of Jabin was in charge of most of the land in Canaan, so he fought them. Joshua and the Israelites fought them by God's grace, and they won and they got the land. So some verses stood out to me for this chapter, where verse 20, which says, "For it was the Lord's doing to harden their hearts, that they should come against Israel in battle, in order that they should be utterly destroyed and should receive no mercy, but exterminated, as the Lord commanded Moses." So basically, that verse just said it was God's plan, it was God's will for Jabin and the people of Hazor to fall into the Israelites' hands. It was God's will for the Israelites to have to fight them. And I feel it kind of like correlates with how, although we may see troubles in our daily lives, although we might have tough paths or tribulations doing paths, or we get redirected from whatever thing we want to achieve, God has this sense of always redirecting us into better things and guiding us into better things. And he makes us go through certain things to learn. It's not necessarily all about to achieve something at the end of the day, but it's mostly to learn from those experiences that we go through. Because would you rather not go through something that might be really tribulating or just mind-blowing at the moment than rather when you're just into life, when you've gotten into life, you're at the climax of your life, then you experience this tribulation? Wouldn't you want to experience it now that you're at your anti-climax? So I really look at it that way, that when we have redirections, when we have tribulations, I look at it as a way, as God using it to redirect us and helping us to either learn a lesson or achieve greater opportunities or greater heights. So yeah, that was basically, verse 23 was the last verse that stood out to me, and it says, "So Joshua took the whole land according to all that the Lord had spoken to Moses, and Joshua gave it for an inheritance to Israel according to their tribal allotments, and the land had rest from war." So basically they shared it according to their tribal allotments, like they usually do. And the memory verse for this chapter, I'm literally trying to open my phone. Okay. The memory verse for this chapter, there are actually two. Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. Joshua chapter 1. Good. Joshua chapter 1 verse 9. Have I not commanded you, be strong and be of good courage. Be not frightened, neither be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And I feel it still correlates with the whole idea of, whatever tribulations you're going through, trying times, it may be God redirecting you to learn a lesson or achieve greater heights or achieve greater things. You never know, because God is mysterious in different ways. So yeah, that was the first verse. And the second verse is Matthew chapter 10 verse 28. Matthew. Matthew chapter 10 verse 28. Bingo. And do not fear those who kill the body. Do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, fear him who can destroy both body and soul in hell. And basically, I was reading about fear this morning during my quiet time, and how we should be afraid of the human flesh, because it's just like us. We're filled with sin. But rather, we should be afraid of God in sense of respect, because he's the one who can hurt your flesh and also hurt your soul. As human beings, sure, we can harm each other by our flesh, but not by our soul. So yeah, that was just about fear, in case you were going through times that have just, or you have experiences that have made you scared of people. Just remember, God is the one you should respect. God is the one you should be fearful of, not people, because he's above man, he is not man. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing fine and staying right, and I really pray that God helps us to continue on this walk with him. And yeah, we're getting more and more close to finishing the book of the book of Joshua. I almost said Deuteronomy. But yeah, hope you guys are doing fine and staying alright and striving to build a personal and intimate relationship with God. Please, please, please truthfully accept God as your personal Lord and Savior, because having a relationship with him, even trying to create one with him, it's amazing. I can't put it in words. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's just amazing. It's not perfect in the sense that, they won't be, troubling times, or you won't experience any kind of pain. No, building a relationship with God doesn't make you invincible from pain. It rather makes you stronger in the sight of pain and adversaries. So yeah, it's what I would say about building a relationship with God. And I really hope we're all striving to fill ourselves with positive words of the word. I feel like lately I've not been listening to any podcast and not been listening to any praise and worship. So that aspect, I won't lie, I'm guilty of not doing that, but I'm trying to get back on that track of listening to one podcast a day that is Christian related. So yeah, I can't wait to do our giveaway and big celebration for finishing the book of Joshua. And yep, we're reaching the 10-minute mark, so I'm gonna say a full bye-bye and see you guys tomorrow. Bye.